I just woke up and I was thinking, since going off Adderall, I've had, like, no social anxiety whatsoever. I just finished texting a friend and I realized I'd rather just call them and talk to them about it because it's going to take a minute to text. I never make phone calls, ever. I'm not a phone call person. Uh, I like being efficient. Text messages are efficient, but I found them less efficient lately. It's easier just to call someone, have a very quick, like, to the point conversation. Also, see how they're doing, and then that's it. That's insane. I've never been just making phone calls before in my life, unless I was hypomanic. And I'm definitely not hypomanic. I've been on Adderall on and off for 20 years. Um, I think it was causing somehow a lot of my anxiety. Don't get me wrong, if my medication isn't straight, I can have anxiety too, but I think a lot of the social anxiety was being caused by the Adderall. I don't make phone calls. I make phone calls now. It's easier. It just makes sense. And of course, people think, yeah, phone calls make sense. No shit. But you have to realize anxiety doesn't let you operate normally. It doesn't let you think normally. Your anxiety is your first reaction, and it's your first overwhelming instinct. So you'll do anything just to have a text message. You'll do anything to avoid a phone call. Like, people used to call and I would, like, run out of the room and then later on be like, oh, sorry, I wasn't in the room when I got your call, because I didn't want to, like, lie to people and I didn't want to not talk to them. Your anxiety is your number one instinct. It's the fight or flight reflex. So think about it. If you don't have anxiety, you know, it's like being confronted with a bear in the wild. Like, that's what it feels like. Your fight or flight reflex kicks in. You have fear over a phone ringing and having to talk to someone. Could be a good friend, someone your best friend could call, and you're still just like, oh my god, phone call. Oh fuck, phone call. I'm just gonna run out of the room. Sorry, I wasn't in the same room as my phone when you called. Sorry. Um, it sounds so stupid, but that's what anxiety is. That's what mental health is. Like, all these disorders and stuff, it's nature fucking with you. So when somebody says I couldn't do this simple thing because of my anxiety, like, it's real. It's real. It's the fight or flight reflex. The only thing is we don't live in the wild anymore. I don't. I don't know about some of you guys, but we don't live in the wild anymore. Like, the hardest part of my day sometimes is the phone call. The hardest part, as far as exterior, like, stimuli, is a phone call or my own brain. That's a lot of times the hardest part of my day. I mean, there's stress and stuff, but, like, I'm not fighting for my survival. I know when my next meal is coming. I just gained 28 pounds from the medication I was on. I'm not worried about hunting and gathering. Like, I'm good. I don't have to worry about if a hurricane comes through that my little grass hut is going to be ripped up. And, like, there are knowns in my life. So, with that, you fear the dumbest shit because that's what your body, like, just does to you. But I no longer fear phone calls. I no longer fear talking to people. I'm so much more relaxed. Conversations are give and take. Because with anxiety, my conversations, I'll do anything to get out of them. Even people I know and like. I'll be like, hey, how's it going? They're like, good, how are you? And I'm like, oh, it's good. So I'll let you go. I've got a thing. I've got anything else but this. Fuck Christ. Tell me you have something. Tell me you have something. Tell me you're busy. Like, there's nothing when you have anxiety when you're talking to someone in person that you're just, like, hoping they have a thing. Or, like, oh, like, anybody that's like, oh, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a rush. And I'm like, no. Thank you. Please rush, because I'm going to try to find a way out of this conversation because my anxiety is through the roof. So, you having the thing, thank God. And now I feel bad because I don't have anxiety and I can see it in other people. So I'll be talking. I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, good. And I'm just like, now I see why people think I was being rude or standoffish or mysterious. I wasn't. I was like, I was just trying to get out of the conversation because I was afraid of unknown forces, and now I see it in other people, and so I'm just like, well, how do I handle it on my end? Do I like give them that escape to like let them go, or do I just talk to them? And I'm just like, oh no, really? I solved my anxiety, now I have a whole other set of problems. Now I recognize people's anxiety and I don't want to keep them in anxiety. And then, but I'm type A personality and I want to talk. And that's the worst part about being a type A personality and then having these issues is when you're going through them, it's terrible because you can't be yourself. And then once you clear it up, you see it from the other side and you know that you're kind of like the antagonist to that kind of mindset. And so you're just like, what's the humane thing to do? Do I put down this conversation, to put you out of misery? Or do I talk to you because human interaction actually helps? And you can see that I'm non-judgmental and we can actually have a fun conversation because I'm mostly just really bad jokes and a lot of cuss words. I don't know. But it feels good, really good not to have all the social anxiety.